Hello everyone. Now we shall look into the concept of parameterized constructors. So we know what is a constructor. A constructor is a special member function whose task is to initialize the object of its class. Basically, normally when we define an object, there will not be any value given to an object. So we may have to assign the value through some functions. But concept of constructor says you initialize an object, but at the time of initialization itself the object will have its value. So it's a special member function. The responsibility of the constructor is to initialize the objects of its class. It is called special because its name is the same as the name of the class. The constructor, how can we say it's a constructor? With a condition that a constructor always will have a function whose name is the same as of the name of the class. See, look at here. See, we have defined a constructor here. How? Integer, name of the class, scope resolution operator, integer. This is the name of the function. What? Name of the function is exactly equal to the name of the class. That is a condition. So that is what is called a constructor. So a constructor is automatically invoked when an object is associated with a class is created. So a constructor will be automatically invoked when you are going to define an object of a class. So it is called a constructor because it constructs the value of data members of that class. It is called a constructor because it constructs the value of a data member of that particular class. Now, let us look into the concept of parameterized constructor. What is the meaning of a parameterized constructor? So, parameterized constructors are a type of constructors that take parameters allowing you to initialize the object with specific values during its creation. So what we see over here is a common value. Whenever an object is created, every object will have its initial value m is equal to 0, n is equal to 0 when the private members are m and n. So for every object m becomes 0, n becomes 0. So that is what is called the constructor. But when you call a parameterized constructor, it's a special type of a constructor that takes the parameters and which gives a freedom for the programmer to initialize the object with the specific value during its creation. It need not be same for everyone. Okay. Now, to define a parameterized constructor in C++, you include a constructor with the parameters in the class definition or class declaration. So you'll be able to understand when I mention the example. See, what I mentioned here is I declare a class with a class name and I call a class name. There's a condition for constructor. Just look at here. Here I am defining a parameter. The name, parameter, the name, parameter, the name. See in the previous case, see I have not taken any arguments. I have not defined any parameter. I have not defined any argument. So I have taken void. I have mentioned the initialize the value inside the function. But when it comes to here, I am taking the value from the main program. So I am defining a constructor with the type, name, type, name, type, name, etc. This is the speciality of the parameterized constructor. So constructor, because the function name is similar to the class name, but the parameter and the name are the additional requirements other than your actual constructors. So this is the structure of the parameterized constructors. Let us look into the example. See, I'm declaring a person wherein I'm initializing the person through parameterized constructor. How? What is the name of the class? Person. The name of the class is person. The function which I'm using is also a person. That is the constructor. But here, see, I'm declaring constant std as a string name integer age. So here I'm defining the parameters. What are the parameters? Name and age. Name is a string, age is an integer. So this is the parameterized constructor. So this definition is different from your actual constructor. So here what I do is I take it from the main program, then I will load it to the member. I will load it to the member. So here I will use it display. What I'm displaying? I'm displaying the same name as well as I'm displaying the age. So here what are the private members? Name and age are the private members here. Okay. So private members here being name and the age. The public function is the parameterized constructor which will add the value by taking the value from the main program. I will explain by taking an example from the main program. So let me go to the main program. So what is the name of the class? Person. I am defining an object called person1 of class person. But it's a parameterized constructor. What are required here? See, what are the data members of the class person? Name, which is a string, age, which is an integer. So I have to initialize the value. Basically, if it is an ordinary constructor, I may have to give him a value over here only. Say name is equal to, say Srinivas, age is equal to 25, or name is equal to Alan, age is equal to 35. Oh, see, this is how I declare the values to the data members inside the constructor. But here it is not so. How do I do? I pass this argument. What are the two arguments I am passing? Alias and 25 are the two arguments which I am passing for an object called person1. That means person1 is an object of class person with the initial values called alias and 25. So now here these things, this becomes alias, this becomes 25. Now alias will be loaded to the name here and 25 will be loaded to age here. So that will be displayed here using here. So person1 alias 25, person2 Bob 30. Now I'll be displaying person1 information wherein name becomes alias and age becomes 25. Person2 display information where name becomes Bob and age becomes 30. So the only difference you can observe here is I am initializing the object through constructor, by passing the arguments from the main program. This is what is called a parameterized constructor, wherein in the other case, I'm just declaring the object. Automatically, see in the previous case, whatever I mentioned here, I'm just declaring an object. Say in in, say in of integer. That means m and n will be 0. The moment I declare in is an object of class integer because no other value. But when it comes to here, I am giving the value through the main program, which is taken as a argument to initialize the value as a constructor. There's only difference between parameterized constructor and ordinary constructor. So now here the program statement, the problem is mentioned like this. What is a program? Here it says create a class called bank which includes account number, name, balance, and parameterized constructor to initialize the data members, and then other methods like deposit, withdrawal, and display the details of the customer. So, what are the data members? Account number is a data member, name is a data member, balance is another data member. Now we have to use parameterized constructor to initialize those data members, and then let us do some calculations to uh, deposit, withdrawal, and all. So now let us look into the program. See, what is it asked? Create a class called bank. So I have created a class called bank. What are the data members? Account number is a data member, name is a data member, balance is a data member. Account number of integer type, balance is a float type, name is a string type of character. Okay, which are the data members. Now here I am using a constructor wherein I am using a parameterized constructor. What is it? Account number is of integer type, name one is of string, balance is of float. So now whatever I read over here, I will pass it to account number. Please remember, this is different, this is different. You cannot use the same because if you use the same, private member cannot be a member of the parameterized constructor. Then string copy name to name one means whatever name one I get, I will be transferring it into name here. Balance, whatever balance I get it from the main program, I'll pass it over here. So this is how the parameterized constructor will load the value to the data members. Now, yeah, I have a function called deposit, withdrawal, and display. So what is that function? Deposit. Deposit float means I'm taking a value from the main program. So that will be adding the balance with the new amount and balance will be displayed. Then withdrawal, there is a condition. If the amount balance is less than the amount, then you cannot do the transaction. If the balance minus amount is less than 500, you have to mention minimum balance should be 500. As mentioned in the problem, it says minimum balance should be 500. So that's what is mentioned here. What is it? So whenever you are withdrawing the amount, what is the condition? That much amount is should be there in the balance. So if it is less than the balance, you cannot do the transaction. Or if the balance minus amount is less than 500 because condition says minimum balance should be 500. Okay. Even then also you cannot withdraw the money. Otherwise, withdraw the money and update the balance. Balance is equal to balance minus amount. So now transaction is processed. Current balance is the updated balance by deducting amount from the old balance. Now display, when it comes to display, so when it comes to display, you'll be displaying customer details. What are the customer details you are displaying? Account number you're displaying, name you're displaying, balance you're displaying. So altogether you have declared a class, you have used a parameterized constructor, you have used three functions. One is a function to deposit the money, another function is to withdraw the money, then display the account balance. This much we have seen. Now let us go to the main program. Now I'm declaring two variables a and n, float amount and balance, character name of 20. I'm reading the name. Now what I do is account number I will read, name of the person I will read, balance I will read. Now I declare an object called B of bank, wherein I will pass account number, name and balance. For example, if my account number is say 100, name is say Srinivas, see in A is 100, name is Srinivas, then balance is 1000. So now what I'm passing? 100 Srinivas 1000. So now these things go directly to here. 100 Srinivas 1000. So now my data member, this becomes 100, this becomes a Srinivas, this becomes 1000 through parameterized constructor. So now this much will be done over here. Now what is my work? So I'm going to endless loop here while 1. It's an endless loop wherein I need to come out only when if I press 4 or so using switch case statement. So I will enter my choice. If my choice is 1, what is the first choice? Deposit. Deposit. So what should I do? Enter the amount to be deposited. So let us say my what is my old balance? 1000 is my old balance. So now I'm adding, let us say 500 rupees once again to that. So B dot deposit of amount. What is this amount? 500. B dot deposit of 500. So now this 500 goes to here. B dot deposit 500. So when this function is executed, balance is equal to balance. What is the old balance? 1000 rupees is the old balance plus 500. 1000 plus 500, balance will be updated to 1500 now. That is a concept of deposit. Okay. Now this deposit is done. Now next is withdrawal. So withdrawal. How much you want to withdraw? Let us say I want to withdraw say 500 rupees. So now B dot withdrawal. So withdrawal is another function. So withdrawal. What is the amount? 500 rupees. Now what is the balance? 1500 rupees. What is the amount you are going to withdraw? 500 rupees. Now this condition does not satisfy. 1500 is more than 500. So this condition will not work. Say balance minus amount. 1500 minus 500. Even that is also more than 500. This also will not work. So ultimately this one will work. Then your balance will be updated with the 1500 minus 500. It becomes 1000. Now your balance is 1000 after withdrawal. One condition. Let us say, suppose if my withdrawal, say 2000 rupees, say 1100 rupees. Say in second case, I'll take 2000 rupees. I want to withdraw 2000 rupees. Now this function will take the argument as 2000 rupees to the here 2000 rupees. What is the balance? 1500. Is it less than 2000? Yes. So it says transaction failed. It will go out. Withdrawal will not take place. Whereas let me say third condition. So my amount is 1200. I want to withdraw 1200. So B dot withdraw 1200. So when it comes to here, what is the amount? 1200. Is balance less than amount? No. Balance is 1500. Amount is 1200. But is balance minus amount is less than 500? Is it true? Yes, it is true. Yes, it is true. See, balance is 1500 minus amount is 1200. So it sends a message stating that minimum balance of 500 should be maintained. So the three conditions also we have discussed. Withdrawal also we have discussed. Third one, display. So when I go to display, this function will work. Customer detail, account number will be displayed. Say 100, name Srinivas, balance, maybe updated balance. Say 1500 minus 500. So 1000 maybe displayed here. So for display purpose. Then exit means it goes out of the program. Any other inputs if you give, it treats as an invalid input. But one more point which you need to look into here in the main function. This is what is called a menu. This is a menu. One, deposit. To next line, 2, withdrawal. Next line, 3, display. Next line, 4, exit. The next line, enter your choice. So it will be in the line. For example, if I show, say, this type of output you will get. Right? So enter the account number. See, I will go to the main function. So enter the account number. Say, so you will be entering the account number. Enter the name. Then balance. So now you enter the account number to be 111, name to be Akash, balance is 12,000. Now these menu you get because of this statement. First deposit, NDEL goes to next line, withdrawal, NDEL goes to next line, display, NDEL goes to next line, exit goes to next line. Then next line, enter your choice. So this is how you will get the output. Okay, now you will be reading N. So this is nothing but use of switch case statement. Switch case. If N is 1, this will be executing. Break will go out. If N is 2, this will execute. Break will send you out. If N is 3, this will be executing. If N is 4, this will be executing. Basically, switch case statement we are running. So this is how your program output looks like. So this is the concept of parameterized constructors. Okay. Goodbye.